Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to learn about how we can drag and drop of an element using Selenium. So we are going to discuss about the theoretical part as well as the practical part. So let's move to the theoretical part first. And in the theoretical part I'm going to discuss about actions class and how we are going to use actions class to implement such activities. So actions class is nothing but a user facing API that basically helps us to automate or like emulate user gestures, or you can say human gestures. So these activities like a drag and drop we can actually do using keyboard or a mouse directly. But again, the action class has its own benefits. Like it already has like inbuilt methods that we can actually use directly, and we can actually automate this very smoothly with them. So we are actually going to see the practical implementation part with the actions class only, and there are two ways we can actually do this. Also, if you check the implementation part of actions class by going into the source, you can actually see all those keyboard activities and the mouse activities can also be performed using actions class. So there is no change. Like you can actually do some all those operations with the help of actions class. So it's very handy one. So let's discuss the practical implementation part where we are going to showcasing you two ways we can actually use to automate this drag and drop activity. So let me just set up my WebDriver manager like Chrome driver manager. I'm just setting in my Chrome driver, and then I'm going to create an object of my Chrome driver. Okay, and for the demo purpose I'm going to use this site as example. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and then I'm going to just maximize the browser. Okay, let's move to the browser and then check what the exact functionality we are going to perform here. So if you see, this is the source element and this is the target element, and we are going to drag this source element into the target one. So let's inspect all those two elements. Okay, if you see the locator value for this first source element, it says ID and it has a value of draggable. So let's copy this and move to your IntelliJ and just create a web element. I'm giving a name as from element and going to store inside this by ID and draggable. Now let's go again back to the browser, and if you inspect the target element, it has again ID as a locator and the value is droppable. So both are unique, so we can actually use them. So I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to naming at to element. I'm just going to paste the locator value. Okay, let's again go back to the browser because there is one more thing that we need to take care, because these two elements are part of this iframe who has a class name as demo frame. So if you're knowing this, whenever there are elements which are inside the iframe, you have to first switch to the iframe, then only you can access them. Else Selenium WebDriver will be throwing you no such element exception. So we are going to copy this class name, and before this I'm going to switch to my iframe. I'm going to say driver.switch to frame, and again I'm going to pass the web element driver.find element by class name, and I'm just pasting the class name. So right now we are in the iframe so that we can actually access this two web elements. Now before like implementing the exact line of code that actually can drag and drop this, so we are going to create object of actions class, new actions, and if you check this action class needs a WebDriver object. So I'm going to pass WebDriver object driver. Now we are good to implement the first way. So the first way is with drag and drop method. So again, we are going to use actions methods object, action class object basically. So I'm going to say actions dot, I'm going to say drag and drop. So you can see there are two methods. One is drag and drop and another is drag and drop by. So this second method basically takes input parameters as source. So it is nothing but your source element and then the offsets. So if you check this, it basically takes offset of your target element. So we are not going to use this. We are going to use the first method that only takes your source element and the target element. So I'm going to say drag and drop, and I'm going to pass my source element and then the target element, and I'm going to say build and then perform. So this perform method basically means that it is going to perform the chain of actions once this is get triggered. So this is this has its own significance. So I'm going to just say driver dot quit after the execution, and I'm going to purposely add some weight so that we can actually see how this action is going to be performed, so that we actually don't miss this, and say 2 seconds, and let's run this script. So this should launch the browser first, and then yeah, it should navigate to that jqueryui.com, and if you see this carefully, it should perform the operation. Yeah, so it dragged the source element to the target destination. So the first way is successful. Let's just comment this, and we are going to implement the second way, where we are going to use click and hold method, click and hold method along with our move to element method. So these two again are like part of our actions class only. So we are just going to use actions class object again. We are going to say click and hold, and in this I'm going to pass my source element, which is nothing but from element. Then going to say move to the target element and just release it once you move to the target element, and then build and then perform. So this line of code basically says that if you have to do this drag and drop, you have to first click and hold your source element, then move to the target element and then release it, and then perform all chain of actions. And again, I'm going to use the additional way to basically see the actions being performed. Okay, and I'm just going to run the script again. So the browser has launched, it went to the website, and it should drag and drop. Yeah, so again the drag and drop is successful with these two elements or two methods, click and hold and move to element. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. If you like the video, please do like, share and comment. Also don't forget to subscribe the channel, and see you soon in the next video. Goodbye.